You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
Do you want that real sports talk? Unfiltered, unsanitized? Well, you have found it. This is a revolution in radio. The realest, trillest sports talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show. This is sports talk for the people. Yeah! Was it? What's
You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
Do you want that real sports talk?
Test.
Unfiltered, unsanitized? Well, you have found it. This is a revolution in radio. The realest, trillest sports talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show. This is sports talk for the people. Yeah! So nice we had to do it twice. What's happening? Yes, sir. Thank you for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show, man. Thank you, man. We had to do it twice the first time for the show open, so let's do it twice again for that music. Bring it back. Bring it back. All right, let's get everything situated in here, man. All right, there we go. Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show, man. Thank you for joining your boy. July 1st, 2015. And oh, boy, we got a lot going on today, man. Thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate you doing that. And today is a Wild Out Wednesday. And a lot going on, man. We got some great little things to get into today. As you see the title to the show, Scottie Pippen tripping. Obviously, we're going to talk about that Scottie Pippen story, his comparing himself to the great LeBron James. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Terrell Pryor. Obviously, NBA free agency is hot and heavy right now. There's a lot of great things we're going to get into today on the show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. If you're new to the show, man, first of all, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. If you're new to the show, just trust your boy, man. We have a great time on the Doug Stewart Show, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. The show is like no other show, definitely no other sports talk show, guy talk show in America. You get sports and entertainment and all that stuff with what I call a Stu's perspective. You get it from a Stu perspective. So we have a great time around here. We talk about what do we do on a daily birthdays. We usually do a top 5. We got a great top 5 for you today as well. Whatever's going on in the news, whatever dudes are talking about, that's what we talk about, and we hit on the Doug Stewart Show. But we do it in a real fun way, all right? So we do that, and make sure you tell people about the show, and trust me, they'll thank you for it later, all right? So today, obviously, once again, NBA free agency, Scottie Pippen, Terrell Pryor's in the news. I also have a great top 5 for you today, man. We do top 5s around here religiously. Yesterday, we did top 5 hood movies of all times. Why did we do that? Oh, because I saw the movie Dope a couple of nights ago. So we did that. Today, it's been announced that the great Phil Knight, you know who Phil Knight is, right? Phil Knight is the owner, CEO, inventor of Nike, all right, the tennis shoes, the sneakers. And he's going to step down at the age of 77 from his role as, chairman of Nike. First of all, congratulations, man. Well done. Dude started Nike in 1964. I didn't realize it was that long. Started Nike in 1964. He was kind of like a long-distance runner or mid-range runner or whatever, and, developed this sneaker that would be good for athletes that run. And he initially called it Blue Ribbon Sports. Changed the name, I think, to Nike in 1977, the way the story read. And so you know the history. I mean, Nike is it's a beast in the business world. Been around for a gazillion years, once again, since 1964. And so he's stepping down. So he's a sneaker icon. So today, me being a sneaker fan and historian that I am, if you didn't know, my first job out of college, I worked at Foot Action USA as a manager. I actually was a salesman first, and they put me in this manager training program, and then I got my own store, and I moved to Roanoke, Virginia, and then I moved to Pensacola, Florida. That's how I know about Pensacola. And so I loved sneakers before I started doing that, but when I got into that business, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I really loved it. The only problem with working that type of job is the hours. I mean, retail is just absolutely horrible. They didn't want a ninja off on the weekends. What? So I only did that for about a year and a half, and then I got into the business world. But yeah, the sneaker business, man, was fun. One of my passions, man. I still wear kicks today. A lot of times I got a closet full of great sneakers. So today I'm going to give you my top 5 sneakers of all times. That's what we're going to do today. And I want to get your thoughts on that. A lot of people are passionate about these kicks. A lot of people are very passionate and have sneaker collections. I wouldn't say I have a full-fledged collection in comparison to a lot of other people. Like, you talk to some of these people and they'll tell you, what number Jordan is what. Like, which sneaker is that number Jordan, and they can go back to the history, and they put their sneakers in plastic bags and make sure they don't get any dirt on them at all, and they don't wear them. They buy them just to store them in the closet. They don't wear them at all. So in this country, man, sneakers are a big deal, so we'll have some fun with that today. And also, man, this Scottie Pippen story, and you've heard it. You've heard it. You have heard it. Scottie Pippen says, quote, unquote, I was LeBron before LeBron James. Now, let me say this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I think a lot of times in these sports debates, you got to be reasonable. And whether you have a bias against a person or not, whether you don't like this person, in this case, Scottie Pippen, and you do love LeBron James in this case or whatever, get rid of your personal biases. Listen to what the man said and listen to some of the comments that he made when he said this. He was doing an interview, and he was asked about LeBron James. We'll get into more of the details in the next segment. But the man answered the question, and the man gave you an honest opinion. And a lot of times in sports, we don't want to hear honest opinions, I feel. I think we always say we want to hear honest opinions, but then when somebody gives us an honest opinion, we bash them. We kill them. All right? And so I think in this particular case, I actually don't think, I can go ahead and tell you, I actually don't think Scottie Pippen was too far off in this. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. You got to listen to what the man said. He's saying that he was LeBron before LeBron. Okay, what does he mean by that? Scottie Pippen could handle a basketball. Scottie Pippen was kind of like a point guard. I actually think that Scottie Pippen was actually the first person you heard the term point forward, or in, to a large degree. That point forward, moniker that a lot of people go by now, and LeBron's had attached to his name ever since he got into the league. Scottie Pippen is the first known or well-known point forward. I'm looking at a list right now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and this list has, from NBA.com, the top 15 greatest point forwards of all times. So at number 1 on this list, they have Magic Johnson. I don't never remember anybody calling Magic Johnson a point forward. I remember him being a point guard. And then number 2 on the list, they've got LeBron James. And then number 3 on the list, they've got Larry Bird. I don't remember Larry Bird being a point forward. Larry Bird was a small forward. I never heard that term used to him. And then at number 4, they have Scottie Pippen. Okay, so if you use my math, and what we're talking about here and what Scottie said, the 4 guys that NBA.com has as the greatest point forwards of all times, number 1 is Magic. I cancel him out because I never thought of Magic as a point forward. He was a big-ass point guard, okay? Number 2 was LeBron James, which we're talking about right now. Number 3 was Larry Bird. I crossed him out as well. And number 4 was Scottie Pippen. So what the guy is saying is true. All right? Now LeBron James is probably Scottie Pippen 4.0. He's better than Scottie probably in every category that you talk about. But once again, Scottie was a great defender like LeBron. Scottie handled the ball. Scottie Pippen brought the ball up whenever things got tough for the Chicago Bulls. Michael and Scottie did. They told B.J. Armstrong and Steve Kerr, go sit your ass down somewhere, and Scottie Pippen brought the ball up. Y'all know, if you watched the Bulls back during those times, you know. So the man could do it all. So in comparison to LeBron James, yes. Is he as good as LeBron James? Once again, LeBron James is Scottie Pippen 4.0 or 5.0. But the comparison, I totally understand. I get it. All right, so what we're going to do today, man, is when we get back from the break, I'm going to get your thoughts on that as well. We'll talk about it a little bit more. We'll talk about this NBA free agency and what's happened already, what may happen, what we're hearing out there on them streets. We'll talk about that. And I'll also give you my first sneaker, the number 5 sneaker all times on the Doug Stewart Show today, paying honor to the great Phil Knight. Yes, sir. So we're going to do that today. I'll read some of your chat. I do that all day long, as well as we'll do birthdays. Maybe not in the next segment, but the segment after that, we'll talk about some famous birthdays today and do what we do. All right? Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you this, too. Today is the 10-year anniversary of the great Luther Vandrosss going home to glory. 10-year anniversary. That's tough. So what do we do on the Doug Stewart Show? We pay homage, man, by song. And so what I'll probably do today, I'm trying to figure out which song it is. I'm probably going to give you a Luther Vandrosss rendition of one of his classics, so stay tuned for that. Yes, sir! Stay tuned for that. The great Mocha Bella asked me personally to sing one of Luther's classics, and so thank you, Mocha Bella. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in me to sing one of Luther's classics, and I'll do that today at some point, so stay tuned for that. All right? More Scottie Pippen, LeBron James talk up next. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. Wild Out Wednesday, July 1st, 2015. And damn it, it's already July, man. That is crazy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Right now we're talking about this Scottie Pippen, these comments that he made in an interview and comparing himself to LeBron James. We'll get a little bit more into that here in a second. But I also wanted to talk today about the top 5 sneakers of all times. Phil Knight is stepping down from his position with Nike, the company that he started back in 1964. And a topic near and dear to my heart, man, are sneakers. And I don't know. You know what? Maybe the love and infatuation with sneakers started with Nike. And Nike took it to the next level, obviously, with Jordan and all of that. But, man, we love our sneakers here in this country, man. So I'm going to give you my top 5 sneakers of all times. Remember, I got a perspective on this, and I did a little research, and I looked at other people's lists, and I kind of got a consensus of some of the lists that I saw factored in as well with my knowledge and my history in the sneaker game. So that's how I came up with my list. And this is my personal list. I've got a great honorable mention list as well, so stay tuned for that at the end of the show. But coming in at number 5 on my list are the Nike Air Diamond. otherwise known as the Deons. Yes, sir! Whoa. Now, not all of these sneakers in my top 5 were prevalent or like hit the market when I was working at Foot Action USA between 1993 and 1996. I think I worked there for like 3 years total. But you remember the Deons. Cross trainer shoe, had the little gold patch on the side. Deion Sanders promoted them. That shoe was hot as fish grease. They actually brought it back a couple of years ago, and they sold a lot of them at that time as well. And you remember that sneaker. The sneaker was different. It looked different. It had a cool little, I guess, gimmick type thing. It had the little gold patch in it because, Deion wore a lot of gold, I guess. That was the tie into Deion Sanders. This was when Deion Sanders was at the top of his game, at the top of his profession back in football during that time. So I'm guessing that sneaker probably came out about 1994, once again, 94, 95. But the Deion Sanders, man, coming in at number 5 on my list, a.k.a. the Nike Air Diamonds. Yes, sir. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. In an interview with Chris Haynes of the Northeast Ohio Media Group, Scottie Pippen said that the players' comparisons that have followed James from St. Vincent, St. Mary's through every night of his Hall of Fame ballot career, chiefly the scoring dominance of Michael Jordan and the playmaking brilliance of Magic Johnson, and that the attended debates over which legend James most resembles, Magic or Michael, he says that that's wrong. Here's a quote from Scottie Pippen. He says, "I was LeBron James before LeBron James." He told the Northeast Ohio Media Group, playing alongside Jordan, arguably the greatest player ever to play the game. He says, quote, "I'm no slouch, but when comparing LeBron James, I'm usually left out," he said. I do think, let me say this. Let me stop right there. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I do think Scottie has always been sensitive about the respect and admiration that he gets from fans. Quite plainly said, kind of like a bitch. Now, he's a grown-ass man. He's sensitive as hell, and where I grew up, man, dudes don't be sensitive like this. But you've noticed Scottie has said a lot of things like this over the years and talking about comparing him to Jordan. I mean, he's not Michael Jordan. He's nowhere in the realm of Michael Jordan. You remember there was a great controversy when the NBA came out with that top 50 team, and Dominique Wilkins wasn't on it, and Scottie Pippen was on it, and everybody was like, man, you could have gave Dominique Scottie's spot. I don't know about that. Scottie was a great player, but he kind of thinks a lot about himself. He feels real strong about himself, and that's good. Having pride about yourself and having an ego, I get that. But you clearly, bruh, ain't no Michael Jordan. Can the argument be made that Michael Jordan didn't win those rings without Scottie Pippen? Yeah, probably. But know your role. Stand down, player. All right? He's a great player, fantastic player. Once again, one of the best to ever do it. In these comparisons, we're talking about LeBron James. I totally agree. And you remember, we've always been talking about who is LeBron more like. Is he more like Michael Jordan? Once again, as Scottie said at the top of this quote, is he more like Michael Jordan or is he more like Magic Johnson? And I've always said that he's more like Magic Johnson. But if you factor in athleticism, he's probably more like Scottie Pippen. I mean, think about it. Scottie Pippen, even though he was no Magic Johnson as far as floor generalmanship and, influencing everything that goes on the floor, if you're factoring in the athleticism into LeBron James's game, and that's a huge part of LeBron's game, is his athleticism. If you factor that in, Magic Johnson didn't have half the athleticism that LeBron James does. But Scottie Pippen was a hellified athlete. So you kind of understand that comparison as well. There's a lot of comparables between Scottie and LeBron James. So in relative terms, once again, an article I pulled up offline from the Bleacher Report /NBA.com, they named the top 15 point forwards of all times. The first time that I remember, and now there was some talk about I think it was Marcus Johnson, who played for the Bucks back in the day, as the first person they used that term with point forward. But who's the most recognizable point forward that you can think of? It's Scottie Pippen. That term was widely used from broadcasters and the media in describing Scottie Pippen. And so, yes, that's the moniker, once again, that LeBron James has. So I understand totally the comparison. Scottie went on to say they went on to compare him to the greatest, whether it be Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson. But he's more closer to myself, Pippen said. It's natural for folks to say that, but if you look at how he plays the game and how I play the game, you see more similarities with us. Now, what's wrong with that? I mean, people are offended. And so I'm following everybody and looking at comments made online. I actually posted something on my Facebook yesterday, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I posted something on my Facebook page yesterday about this. And, I mean, people were offended. I mean, the responses were, how dare you, Scottie? And obviously these are the LeBron James fans. I'm a LeBron James fan, but I'm not a LeBron James stalker. There's a lot of LeBron James stalkers out there. And a lot of people out there that also have short memories. Once again, I'm not saying he's as good as LeBron. And the best way I would describe it is LeBron is Scottie Pippen 5.0 or 10.0 maybe, depending on how you look at it. But I understand the comparison. The man was asked a question. They got into talking and conversating about LeBron James, and it always comes up whenever the LeBron James conversation comes up. Who's he better than? Is he better than Michael Jordan? Who's he more closer resemble, Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson? Scottie was like, no. And really, if you think about it, he more resembles me. I was LeBron before LeBron. Now, he said that kind of tongue-in-cheek, facetiously, probably to a degree, because I think Scottie Pippen knows LeBron James is a better basketball player than him. And he even mentioned it. He talked about all of that. So I don't have a problem with it at all. What are your thoughts on this? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And I'll read some of your chat. As a matter of fact, in the next segment of the show, what I'll do is I'll just read chat, as well as I think we'll talk about the birthdays as well. And I'll give you my number 4 sneaker of all times. Do y'all call them sneakers? Where you're from, do you call them sneakers? Do you call them tennis? A lot of people, my cousins in New York, I talked about them yesterday. I think they used to call them tennis when we were growing up. There's a couple of different names for athletic shoes or whatever. So today we're talking about the way we called it when I was growing up, sneakers, the top 5 sneakers of all times in honor of the great Phil Knight. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But the easy way to be totally interactive, and you'll see if you're new to the show coming up in the next segment, is to hit me up on the Spreaker chat. Follow the show on Spreaker. Hit the little follow button. And then there's a little chat button as well. You click on that, and then you're introduced to a whole new world. The chat world of the Doug Stewart Show. I call it Fantasy Island. Yes, sir. The Fantasy Island of sports chat. Yeah. All right, so when we get back from the break, man, more fun, more shenanigans. And then we're also going to start talking a little bit about NBA free agency. Some deals have already been done. Not necessarily signed, but agreed upon. We'll talk about that up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies. made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. What up, folks? Thanks for joining me. Top 5 sneakers of all times. And we're also talking about NBA free agency. We'll get into that here in a second. And also, Scottie Pippen story. Do you agree with Scottie, or do you think he's a damn fool? Like, clearly, I feel like that he's off, but he's not that far off. If you think Scottie Pippen is out of his damn mind, I'd like to see your comments in there and give me an explanation, your thoughts on why that you think he's totally off base with the comments that he made talking about LeBron James. And LeBron, he was the first LeBron James. He was LeBron James before LeBron James. So we're doing that today on the show as well. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We're also talking about the top 5 sneakers of all times. A topic near and dear to my heart. So at number 5, I had the Nike Air Diamond. The streets call them the Deons. And coming in at number 4 is...
My Adidas. Walk through cops and doors and roam all over Coliseum floor. I stepped on stage at Live Aid. All the people gave and I
Coming in at number 4 are the Adidas Superstar, but you might know them as the Adidas Shell Toes. Yes, sir. The Shell Toe Adidas comes in at number 4 on my list. I got 2 pair right now. No shoestring in them. I did not win them. I bought them off the Ave with the backstreet in them or something like that. That sneaker has stood the test of time. One of the sneakers that were definitely a part of the hip-hop culture and the breakdancing culture, the b-boy culture back in the mid, early 80s, late 70s. So the Adidas Superstar, a.k.a. the Shell Toe Adidas, come in at number 4 on my list. I got a brown pair, and I got the white pair with the black stripes. And I'm almost 50. I had a couple of birthdays today on the Doug Stewart Show. Celebrating birthdays today is Plies. You know who Plies is, right? The rapper. I kind of like Plies' flow a little bit. I'm not going to put him like in the top 50 rappers of all times. But I kind of like that dude. He's 39 years old today. Did you know he actually played football in college? He played for Miami of Ohio. He played wide receiver. Actually played a couple of years, got some stats behind his name, and then he quit to pursue a career in music. So happy birthday to Plies. He's 39 years old today. And that's Plies. For people that don't know him and want to look him up or whatever, Plies. And he actually played wide receiver for Miami of Ohio. He's from Florida. And, if you play football in Florida and you halfway decent, you're going to get some money from somewhere. You're going to get a scholarship somewhere in America. You watch a lot of these teams in the Midwest, half of their damn rosters is from South Florida. Just tremendous athletes down there. So Plies turns 39. Also today, the great Missy Elliott turns 44 years old. Happy birthday to Missy. She's 44 years old today. Jose Canseco turns 50 years old today. Happy birthday to Jose. The great Larry David. You may be saying to yourself, who the hell is Larry David? If you're a fan of great TV, you know who Larry David is. He's the inventor, writer, producer for the TV show Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO. One of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life. He actually was the main writer, I believe, for Seinfeld for many, many years. And the best way to describe Curb Your Enthusiasm, if you've never seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, this is a great show for you to go back and watch. I always give you suggestions about TV shows you can go back and watch. Talk about, in particular, a lot of the series on HBO, like Game of Thrones and Oz and all of that type of stuff. This is different. This is in effect Seinfeld. And I like Seinfeld. I didn't watch it when it was originally on, but I went back and watched a lot of the episodes. I think Seinfeld's good. But if you like Seinfeld, this is Seinfeld, once again, on drugs, on steroids. Just off the chain, real funny show. So Larry David turned 67 years old today. And who else do we have here? Nelson Cruz plays for the Baltimore Orioles, turns 35 years old today. And last one, Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis, a man that just totally dominated track and field when he was in the sport, man. I don't know how many goals this guy has. Let me see how many goals he has. He has 9 gold medals in the Olympics from Los Angeles. Carl Lewis turns 54 years old today. Happy birthday to Carl Lewis. I mean, tremendous track and field guy, but not such a great singer. He's got to work on his singing a little bit. What he's got to do is he's got to take his craft more serious. You remember the memorable rendition of the Star Spangled Banner that Carl Lewis gave at a baseball game, I believe it was? I mean, it was absolutely horrible. And I don't know who let Carl go out there and sing like that, man. He wasn't prepared to treat the craft with respect. But happy birthday to Carl, man. But just work on your singing, bruh. Just work on your singing. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. The New Orleans Pelicans will re-sign Anthony Davis to a 5-year, $145 million extension. Bless his heart. You talk about somebody who deserves the money. He's the future. I mean, he is the future of the NBA. So if you're going to give people that money, you're going to give players that type of money, I don't think probably nobody deserves it more than Anthony Davis. So congratulations to him. The Pelicans going to get that guy locked up for a long, long time. They might even win a ring or something at some point. If they get some talent around him, the fan base actually is pretty good down there that follows that Pelicans team for a city that just got basketball back for a long, long time. You remember, I believe the Utah Jazz were based in New Orleans before they went to Utah. But they actually support that team, man, and they got a great player in Anthony Davis. He might be the guy that I start my NBA franchise with right now if I had my choice. If you factor in age, he's 24 years old. You factor in age, skill set, ability, everything that comes along with him. Seems like a good guy off the court as well. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You might want to start your franchise with Anthony Davis. So congratulations to him. Let me read some of your chat. Who we got here from, Bush. Pippen was the master of the bank shot. Yes, he was. From Stagger Lee, he said, we called them buddies, no name. Y'all called what, sneakers buddies, Stagger Lee? down there in Pensacola. Stagger Lee's from Pensacola. What else we got here? From Stagger Lee, I ain't saying he's LeBron, but he's LeBron-ish. And talking about Scottie Pippen. From J-Rob, keep in mind, Scottie checked Magic in the finals. Magic is my favorite of all time, but Scottie checked him, and it was difficult for Magic to get to his spots. Yeah, once again, I think the biggest connection between that comparison with LeBron and anybody before him is the athleticism. Now, Scottie, also another thing, let's be honest about it as well. I mean, it's obvious. LeBron's 260 pounds, 6'8". Scottie was 6'8", 6'9", but Scottie was probably, 225? He was a real skinny dude. So, once again, that's another reason on why Scottie clearly isn't or never was as good as LeBron James is, but I definitely understand the comparison. That's from J. Rob. From The Truth, Grant was the first point forward I remember. Grant Hill didn't come before Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen's been in the league longer than Grant Hill, I believe. Let me check the dates on that when they got into the league. Maybe they came at around the same time. Or maybe Grant did come into the league a little bit earlier. Who else we got? And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Grego, LeBron still getting flack from when he would defer to Wade, and Wade would throw it back to him to force him to be a number. And he had Paul's listed there, Grego. Number one, LBJ's perception shows that he is more comfortable in a Pippen role. Yeah. From Vince Wright, Pippen chose to stay on the bench in the playoffs because Phil didn't play for him. Punk move, and as we know, Kukoc nails the game-winning shot. Know your role, Pippen. Yeah, that was probably the worst thing that you can point at in Scottie Pippen's career is that he sulked. And once again, I said it earlier, he's very sensitive, almost to the degree of being a bitch. And I can't remember the particular game. It was a playoff game. Maybe it was against the Knicks. And they needed a last-second shot. And Phil drew the play up for Tony Kukoc. Now, first of all, I blame Phil for that. Why would you do that? And I don't know whether it was a situation. I don't remember whether it was a situation where Scottie was supposed to be a distraction to give Kukoc a good shot or whatever it may be. But Scottie Pippen felt some type of way about that. And I'm not saying he was totally wrong. Once again, I don't know the exact details of that scenario or what happened on that play, but that was a bad look. Whether you agreed with it or not, you should probably go out there on the court. And so I think Pippen ultimately was wrong about that. But like the great Chris Rock said, I'm not saying he shouldn't have went on the floor, but I understand. It's as simple as that. I kind of understand. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. When we get back from the break, man, all we're going to do is read chat. Thank you so much for the chat. And we'll also continue the list of the top 5 sneakers of all times. We'll do that and keep it rolling on the Doug Stewart Show, man. Shouts out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you so much for being totally interactive. Yes, sir. Really do appreciate that. All right, when we get back, more of your chat, more fun, more top 5 sneakers of all times. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The Doug Stewart Show.
The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show.
If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. Yeah, so I'm reading some of y'all chat here, and I said it earlier now. Scottie Pippen did have a lot of, as somebody put it, who put it? I think, my man Boosa. Boosa said, yeah, Scottie Pippen did have a lot of bitch-like tendencies. He did. He definitely did, but he was a fantastic player, man. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Wild Out Wednesday. This segment is brought to you by National Debt Relief. They're one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements with thousands of creditor and collections accounts. Core services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, an alternative to bankruptcy. So before you file bankruptcy, man, check out National Debt Relief. They can help you. The number is 844-828-4975. Once again, it's 844-828-4975. Been talking about Scottie Pippen and his comments that he made, comparing himself, saying he was the first LeBron James. He was LeBron before LeBron. Getting your thoughts on that. As well as talking about the top 5 sneakers of all times. Some of these, obviously, I'm talking about the particular, I guess, model of sneaker, because obviously if you're Adidas, you got a million different kinds, and if you're Nike, you got a million different kinds. Even in some of the particular categories, you got several different, styles in that specific category. So that's what we're doing today, having a little fun with that. The great Phil Knight is stepping down from his position with Nike, and that's the end of an era. The company started in 1964. Damn. He's worth $24 billion. The man is worth $24 billion. Now, it's been over 50 years, so he actually, they said he used to sell sneakers out the back of his car. You always hear that story. Master P used to sell mixtapes out the back of his car, and everybody in the music industry blew up, and before they blew up, they were selling tapes out the back of their car. And same story with Phil Knight. From John Fisher, he says, number 5, Huaraches. I never liked the Huaraches, and you remember the Huaraches. The Huaraches were kind of like this glove-fitting, sock-type shoe that Nike came out with. It was predominantly a running shoe, I believe, but it used to come in these real wild colors. We used to sell Huaraches when I was in the business back in the early 90s. I never liked the Huaraches, but they come in at number 5 for John Fisher. He also says the Bo Jacksons. The Bo Jacksons was real fly. Another cross-training type shoe with the big sole, the thick sole for lateral movement. I sound like I'm back on the floor in foot action, right? The big thick sole for lateral movement. It had little cuts in the side, so you'd have that flexibility, and it also had the strap over the top for stability. I sound like I'm in a training class. So, yeah, the Bo Jacksons was real nice, and then they were, obviously a lot of the success of these sneakers depended on the spokesperson. So with the Deons, you had Deon, and obviously with the Bo Jacksons, they weren't called the Bo Jacksons. They were called something else, obviously. The technical term was something else, but the streets called them Bo Jacksons. Number 3, he's got shell-toe Adidas. Number 2, foam Posits? Foam Posits? I've never even heard of that before in my life. And then number 1, he's got the Jordans, which is probably a lot of people's number 1. Who else we got here? From Stagger Lee, I'm in this bitch like I'm Justin Combs on the UCLA practice field. All right, there he goes. There he goes, the great Stagger Lee. From J-Rob, Scottie is tired of being in the Jordan shadow, even in retirement. Scottie is trying to etch his name in the books. And appreciate that, J-Rob. Clearly, once again, Scottie feels some type of way about not getting the love he thinks he deserves. And I guess to a large degree, if Scottie Pippen were on another team and didn't play alongside of Michael Jordan for all those years and won 6 rings, we don't know. Like, Scottie Pippen may have been, one of the top 5, 10, 15 players of all time, but we will never know. I think in his mind, he thinks that's the case. He thinks that he wasn't able to shine and wasn't able to get as much notoriety because he did play alongside Michael Jordan. That's fine. That's fine. But it's kind of like one of those things in America. We just don't do that. We don't talk about ourselves in that type of fashion. But in this case, man, he was kind of asked the question and he gave an honest answer. So I kind of go back and forth on that. From Thorny Switch, Pippen sound like Little Richard with all that attention seeking. Yeah, I just said that. Thorny Switch summed it up perfectly. Like the whole thing would happen with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. In this country, after we get our ass kicked, we don't make excuses and talk about our arm hurt and I got a sprained knee and this, that, and the other. We don't do that. Same thing with this, which kind of makes it a newsworthy story, is in this country, we don't cry with spilt milk. We don't talk about how good of a player we really were, but we played with this other player. We really don't do that. We kind of frown upon that type of thing. You understand what I'm saying? So Scottie is definitely taking a lot of heat for making these statements, even though I think to a large degree they are true once again. We just don't do that type of stuff here in America, Jack. From Detroit, Matt, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Top 5, he's got number 1, the Air Force Ones. Number 2, the 95 Air Maxes, the Penny Hardaways. Number 3, the Jordans, number 4, I believe. And number 5, he's got the Barclays. And the Barclays, if you remember the Barclays were kind of like the fit and the construction of the shoe was kind of like the Bo Jacksons, but it was wider, I believe, and gave you more stability. I'm tripping because I'm talking like I'm at a sneaker convention or whatever. But it was more of a basketball shoe, and I can't remember exactly what differentiated a basketball shoe and a cross trainer. But they taught us all of that stuff when I came into the business. But yeah, the Barclays were real nice. And remember, Barkley had those Barclays, quote unquote, the Barclays from Nike during the time, I believe he was already in Phoenix. Like, I don't think he had his own shoe when he was in Philadelphia. When he got to Phoenix, Nike gave him the Barclays, and they were fire. I really did like those as well. From Fel Pay says, my shoe list, number 5, the 97 Pippins, the shoe with the big air on the side. Number 4, the 98 Iversons. The Iversons is definitely on my honorable mention as well. The Dion's number 2. All the Griffey shoes and all the J's at number 1. Griffey had his own sneaker. Was his sneaker like a cross-training type shoe? I'm assuming it was. But I don't remember the Griffeys right now at this particular second. I appreciate that message, Fel Pay. From North for Life, Fish, I see you not the only one that likes or can stand Doug. Wait a minute. Let's move on past that. From J. Rob. Wait a minute. Let me go back to that. Fisher says, he says, Doug, I see you. Okay, actually, I think my boy was actually giving me a compliment on my singing. Thank you, man. Thank you. I kind of misread that. I thought you were trying to Joan on somebody or something like that, but that wouldn't be the case. But thank you. As a matter of fact, man, stay tuned to the show. I feel good, man. My spirit feels good. The great Luther Vandrosss left here 10 years ago today, so I'm probably going to pay homage to him at some point. So stay tuned to the show. I mean, respect greatness, man. From JB Jennings, he says, yes, I just mentioned them Deons. I guess I'm back to the start of the show where I gave my first sneaker, number 5, was the Deion Sanders. From J. Rob, just saying, Miss Mocha, anyone who encourages Doug to sing, I had to be nice. Let's move on to the next one. From Detroit, Matt, top 5, Air Force Ones at number 1. Number 2, the 95 Air Max. Number 3, the Penny Hardaways. I guess his message got cut off, so he stopped with 3. He didn't give me 5. What's up with that, Detroit, Matt? from Miss Mocabella, So Funkified the Brat. I played that a little bit earlier coming back from the break, so I guess they were having some conversation about that. From J.B. Jennings, them Bo Jacksons, them Pennies, them Deons. Yes. Obviously grew up during my era. What do we got here? From I don't see the person's name. Oh, okay, J. Rob. And thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. He says, this is not going to be a great listening when Doug's. I have to turn the volume. I just tune it up. All right, let's move on to the next one from the brother beloved, J. Rob. Y'all better get earplugs early. Let's move on to the next one. All right, let's just talk about something else. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much for joining me, man. Kawhi Leonard is going to re-up with the San Antonio Spurs. It's reportedly going to be a 5-year deal worth $90 million to remain with said San Antonio Spurs. Congratulations to that young man. You know who Kawhi Leonard kind of reminds me of? I think he's better than this person, but he kind of reminds me of Joe Johnson, where tremendous talent, ability to score the basketball, but just quiet, okay? He just, to get the type of money that the Atlanta Hawks gave Joe Johnson, you have to be a vocal leader. I think that's kind of like, that comes with the money. That comes with the territory. When you get that type of deal and you're just quiet, you don't really take a leadership position, you're not really vocal, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Kawhi Leonard, though, is a fantastic player, very young, obviously. The upside on this kid is tremendous. I don't know if he actually is looked upon by the organization and by the fans of the San Antonio Spurs as a guy that's going to be the centerpiece of this team for the next 10 years. There's this talk already right now of LaMarcus Aldridge going to San Antonio. And maybe the reason I'm thinking that, once again, is I do feel like that he's just a quiet guy in nature, and he doesn't have that vocal side to him that a lot of leaders have. So I don't know necessarily if I even view him as the focal point of an NBA team. So we'll see, man. But congratulations to him. Great player, obviously. 5 years, $90 million. And in this NBA of today, the young man definitely deserves it, man. He definitely deserves it. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. When we get back from the break, more of the top 5 sneakers of all times. It's hour number 2 already. This show flies by when you're having fun. You better believe that. And then we'll keep talking and reading your chat and getting your thoughts on these sneakers, as well as we'll continue to talk about NBA free agency. Also, a little Terrell Pryor news is out there. We'll talk about that as well. All right, don't go anywhere. This is the Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! This is your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the 2 Live Stews. Check out my brand new daily show and podcast that airs live Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Spreaker.com. That's the Doug Stewart Show daily at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Spreaker.com. Or check out the podcast anytime, 24/7. If you're not stewing, what in the world are you doing?
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
All right, so this is hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. You hear this track in the background. This is how I'm going to include the Stewies into the show and make the show even more interactive. So we're going to retire this show open this week. All right? So we've been rolling with Fat Joe and Lean Back for the last, 4 or 5 months. So we're going to retire it this week. And Monday we're going to come out with a whole new show open. So I need, in the same fashion as this Fat Joe, I need a new song. So give me some suggestions on your Spreaker chat on what I can come back with. You know, what I can bring it back with. Yes, sir. I've been trying to think of something that has that oomph like this track has. And I got a couple in mind, but maybe y'all got a track in mind that's got that real hard-hitting beginning, kind of like a little intro type thing with it as well. Hit me on the Spreaker chat, and maybe when we come back Monday, we'll use the suggestion that you made as far as the show open for the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show. We're brought to you by Ticket Liquidator. Since 2009, or 2003 even, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers to give you the opportunity to attend the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. The goal is to bring you more tickets, better service, and lower prices so that you can be there to witness the best of the world of entertainment, culture, and sports. For all your tickets, your ticket needs, whether that's sports and entertainment, it doesn't matter. Give my folks a call at Ticket Liquidator at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034. Been talking LeBron James versus Scottie Pippen, or in comparing to Scottie Pippen. We've been doing that. Also, NBA free agency. We'll talk a little bit here in a second about DeAndre Jordan. NBA free agency tipped off last night at 12:01 a.m. I don't think a lot of these guys are going to move teams. If you look at some of the bigger names and talking about DeAndre Jordan and Dwayne Wade and obviously LeBron and these guys, I don't think they're going to move, man. I think that most of these guys, I'm saying 98% of these guys are going to stay with their teams. Kevin Love as well. So we'll get more into that. I'll read more of your chat at some point today. I'm probably going to pay homage to the great Luther Vandrosss. Shut up! Shut up! You don't have to have this. You don't have to have this job. Also, we're talking about the top 5 sneakers of all times in honor of the great Phil Knight, who's retiring. I don't know if he's retiring. He's still going to be on the board at Nike, but he's retiring, or he's stepping down from his position as chairperson. He started the company in 1964, so we've been having some fun with that. Number 5 on my list is the Nike Air Diamond, a.k.a. the Deons. Number 4, the Adidas Superstar, a.k.a. the Shell Toes. And coming in at number 3 on my list, man, is the Air Force Ones. Give me 2 pair. I want 2 pair. Ooh, the great Nelly. Now, the thing about the Air Force Ones is obviously the consistency. I don't know what year it came out, and I think I can actually try to find what year they came out. But they've been out a long-ass time, and the look is just classic. Like, if you want to wear sneakers with anything, like Air Force Ones go with any and everything. And another sneaker that's not on my top 5 that goes with any and everything are the Reebok Classics. So really, these are very comparable in the conversation I'm having right now. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. When you just need a basic sneaker that goes with everything, and I mean everything, that looks good, it's streamlined, it's sleek looking, it looks real good, get you a pair of Classics, man. A pair of Classics or a pair of Air Force Ones. So they come in at number 3 on my list. Man, the store that I worked at in Roanoke, Virginia, I was in Roanoke for like 6 months training before I got my own store in Pensacola, Florida. In the store that I worked up there, the little dope boys used to come in there, man, and they'd buy 5 pair of Classics. And I guess they'd wear them like 1, maybe 2 times. And you notice that? That's another thing about ninjas. Is a lot of ninjas will buy a pair of white sneakers that's got money like that, you know, and they'll wear it 1 time. And if it gets a crease in it, this is really sad when you think about it. If the sneaker gets a crease in it, they'll throw it away. Or they may not throw it away. They'll give it to one of their little brothers or whatever, or something like that. But they won't wear it if it gets a little crease, or if it gets a major scuff on it, they'll just get rid of it. And I guess, you know I'm talking about dudes that got long dough like that. But that's insane to me. I wear a pair of sneakers till the wheels fall off. And I've always been like that. It's not new. It's not, because I had to when I was a younger person. No, my own free will and accord. I'm 46 years old. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when I was making pretty decent money, I'd wear sneakers until the wheels fall off. But not these young people, man. They get a little scuff mark. They get a little crease in the front of it or whatever, a little little crease from walking. They'll get rid of the shoe. And a lot of times these cats, they'll walk flat-footed. You ever notice that? You ever see a dude walking around, one of these young boys walking around, and they're walking flat-footed so that they don't put a crease in the sneaker? And all of that's the legacy of the great Air Force Ones. I mean, you can wear Air Force Ones with your Easter suit. I mean, just a great sneaker. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm trying to see what year the Air Force Ones came out. And you can also throw the Stan Smiths in there. And I'll tell you some of my honorable mention a little bit later. But a lot of these sneakers, man, I'm trying to find the Air Force Ones on this little list that I'm looking at right now. I don't see it right now, but I'll try to tell you what year the Air Force Ones came out. They've been around a long time. Just put it like that. They've been around a very long time. I just mentioned, in talking about DeAndre Jordan, word on the street is that the 2 teams that are kind of like the front runners for him are the Dallas Mavericks, as well as staying put in Los Angeles with the Clippers. I'm not a DeAndre Jordan fan. You've heard me talk about it before, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I just don't get it. I mean, the reason why DeAndre Jordan is productive on the offensive end at all, and I may be totally wrong about this, the only reason he's productive on the offensive end at all is because he scores every single time, seemingly, with an alley-oop dunk from Chris Paul. Like, if you don't have a point guard that's going to be able to get him the ball in that position where he can just dunk it, I mean, he's literally holding back your team on the offensive end. I mean, you know about the hack of DeAndre Jordan, or the hack of Jordan, they call it, where they used to do the same thing to Shaquille O'Neal because he just cannot shoot free throws. He can't shoot the backside of a barn. He couldn't hit the backside of a barn. But I guess defensively, he's such a rim protector. Athletically, he's just phenomenal. Probably one of the best athletes in the game. If you look how he gets up off the floor, man, just a tremendous athlete. He's 7 foot tall. I get that. I mean, they're not making a bunch of athletic 7-foot guys in the world today. So I get it from that standpoint, but it seems like that he's going to probably get a max deal. Would you give DeAndre Jordan a max deal? Ugh, I feel very uncomfortable with giving that dude a max deal, but it looks like that's probably going to happen, man, so congratulations to him. I just know one thing. I wouldn't give him a max deal. I wouldn't do that. From my man Vince Wright in the chat room on Spreaker.com, he says, I remember back around 1980, I got my first pair of Nikes. The price was like $25, and my dad bitched for a week. I understand. Been there. If he only knew the future and the prices we would be paying. Yeah, did you know they selling Jordans for over $200? Now, and Vince, I definitely can relate to what you're saying, man. Y'all remember Zips? Y'all remember Zips? So me and my brother, we used to get Zips, and you remember there was another sneaker that was sold in like Tom McCann or something like that. I think it was called Jocks. It might have been spelled Jox, I believe. So we had those throughout our childhood. And I'll never forget, man, the first pair of sneakers I got was like some Reebok Classics or something like that. And they were like $20. And you'd have thought my old man had lost his best friend. Like, it really hurt him to spend $25 on some sneakers. Like, it really, really hurt him to his core. Okay? And my old man grew up in a relatively big family. He had 5 other brothers and sisters, 4 other brothers and sisters. It was 5 of them total. And the old story, you know, he grew up on a farm and they raised chickens and cows. And he walked 12 miles in the snow to get to school and all of that. So you understand the background in which he came from. It was like somebody stuck a knife in his spleen when he bought me those sneakers. And it was for my birthday. I don't think he talked to me for like a week. I don't think he talked to me for like a week. So I definitely relate to your post, Big Vince from Minnesota. But yeah, they're selling sneakers right now for $200+. I want to ask the people that are listening to the Doug Stewart Show right now, and if you're in the chat, you can give me your thoughts on this. Once again, let me say this. I haven't said this in a while, especially on a day like today where we don't have Tree in. I go back and I read all of the chat, all right, because there's just so much. Once again, we have 1,300 to 1,500, 1,600 posts a day. So there's no way I'm going to get to it, especially with the producer not being here. So give me your thoughts on, like I said earlier, on a great music selection to start the show off with, as well as I want to get your thoughts. If you're a parent that has bought your kid a pair of Nikes, these Jordans in particular, that are over $200, I need you to explain to me, you know, the thought process. I need for you to explain to me the thought process on, and I'm not judging you, and listen, I need some people to be very candid with me. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but give me your rationale for paying over $200 for a pair of sneakers. You know, I need to understand, you know, where you're coming from with buying a child, and clearly they're a child if you're still buying the sneakers. You know, they don't have their own damn job. They're not making their own money. Explain to me the thought process in buying a child a pair of sneakers. And let's keep it real. We're talking about Jordans here. Give me the thought process on why you would buy your kid and why you bought your kid a pair of sneakers that cost over $200. I need to hear that. I need to hear that. This is what we do on the Doug Stewart Show. We talk about things. We talk about things. Speaking of which, I might do a special show at some point very soon. I'm about to make a major change in my life and in my diet. And I want to talk with y'all about it. I'll tell you more about that down the road. I had a conversation yesterday about that, but that's down the road. But we're going to talk about that. But right now, I really need to know why you paid $200 for some sneakers for your damn child. This is the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back from the break, and I promise I won't clown you. And you know, I can't guarantee you that they won't clown you in the chat room. But tell me why you bought your child a pair of sneakers that cost over $200. I just need to know, man. Seriously, I just need to know. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes!
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
I'd been talking about red rice and frogmore stew. Another one on the list, on number 13 on this list, is penis taste better boiled. Yes. And as God is my witness, my wife did not know people boiled penis and ate them. She did not. My wife's from Ohio. And yes, boiled peanuts, if cooked right, are the bomb.
Sports talk. Straight, no chaser.
All right, so I got to clear something up. and I don't even know why anybody's mind would even work like this, but evidently it's becoming a topic of conversation. In the last segment, I was talking about boiled peanuts, okay, that come from out of the ground, not boiled peanuts. And so, evidently there's some talk in the chat room about Doug talking about boiled man parts. No, peanuts. I'm trying to say it as slow as I can. Peanuts, okay? What is it, P-E-A-N-U-T-S? Peanuts. No, man, not boiled peanuts. Come on, man. And I see Vern in here. Damn you, Vern. Ugh. Y'all know what the hell I was saying. This is the Doug Stewart Show. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. You know, 10 years ago, the great Luther Vandrosss left us and went home to glory. So, what do we do on this show, man? We pay homage. And we miss you, Luther. R.I.P., brother. I'm going to do this for you, though. We love you, Luther. Do. Hold on. Do. Oh, hey. Yes, sir. A chair is still a chair. Yes, sir. Even when there's no one sitting there. But a chair is not a house. And a house is not a home when there's no one there. Yes, sir. To hold you tight and no one there you can kiss. Hold on. Good night. Whoa. Yes, sir. Whoa. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is what we do around here, man. R.I.P. to Luther, man. Thank you. Thank you, studio audience. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate that, man. Boy, I'm telling you. I tell you what, singing takes a lot out of you, man. It really does take a lot out of you. And, the only reason I do it is because of you. In particular, in this case, the great Mocha Bella. She asked me to pay homage to the great Luther Vandrosss. So that's what we do on the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. If you're just joining us, hour number 2 on the Doug Stewart Show, Wild Out Wednesday, talking about the top 5 sneakers of all times. I've already given you my top 3. I'll give you number 2 here in a second. And we're also talking about NBA free agency and some of your thoughts about that, some of the things that have already happened as well. And just now, as you can tell, I just paid homage to the great Luther Vandrosss. 10 years Luther been gone. It's crazy. He's another guy that it doesn't seem right that Luther Vandrosss has gone home to glory. It just it doesn't feel right that Luther is gone so early. He's been gone for 10 years right now, and simply put, man, we miss you, Luther Vandrosss. We miss you. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. Man, I mean, I get emotional whenever I sing like that. I really do, man, because he was such a great talent, and my talent isn't that far behind, but I love just paying homage to the classics and to the great artists of our times. Yes, sir. We miss you, Luther. We miss you, brother. We miss you. This segment is brought to you by Primerica. In life, good and bad things happen, and being prepared is always important. If you're one of the 95 million U.S. adults that don't have protection in place, man, you need to do that, man. Take care of your family, your legacy. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172. And make sure and tell him that the Doug Stewart Show told you to call him, all right? Let's go ahead and grab a call. We got a call here. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name, where you calling from, and what you want to talk about?
Doug Stewart, what it do? John Fisher in the building, baby.
John Fisher, what up, baby? How you doing, man?
Hey, man. Hey, Doug, I'm having a great day. I went to court this morning. They ain't locked my black ass up. And then, to top it off, I got Dougie singing the hit. Man, can't nothing go wrong with this day, man. My baby mama couldn't even ruin this day for me right now. Doug, I appreciate you singing for us, man. You make me want to shed a tear every time you bust them notes out, dog.
Hey, man, John Fisher, man, that's why I sing it is because of people like you, man. Thank you very much, brother.
Yes, sir. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. There he is. I mean, there you have it. The verdict is in. I don't know where you've been at, but the verdict is in. The verdict is in. Dougie sings the hits. And when we pay homage to the classics and to the legends of this game, I sing the hits. We talk sports, we talk entertainment, pop culture, hip-hop culture, and I sing. Thank you very much. God. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. It's people like – all right, I'm just going to move on because I don't want to lose it in here. I don't want to lose it in here, but that's what I'm talking about right there. It's people like that, okay, that force me to sing. Got another call here. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Doug, this Quincy.
Quincy, how you doing, nephew? How you doing there today, nephew?
Doing good. I just wanted to say I'm enjoying the show today, talking about shoes.
Oh, man, Quincy, you know what? John Fisher just called. You probably heard him. A good friend of mine, John Fisher, a friend to the Doug Stewart Show, TDSS, he just called and gave me kudos on my rendition of the great Luther Vandrosss. He was probably born before you've been around, but he gave me kudos on the great Luther Vandrosss and the song that I sang, A House Is Not a Home. And then you're calling up, giving me words of encouragement as well, man. Thank you so much, nephew. Thank you.
I also want to say the reason why people buy 200 shoes for their kids is because they earned them.
Who earned them?
Earned them by doing good in school.
Wait, whoa, back up. So let's talk about this. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I threw it out there a little bit earlier. Like, what parent out there has bought their kid a pair of $200+ Jordan shoes? Do you have a pair of those shoes, Quincy?
Yes, sir.
So your daddy, Gerald, my frat brother, he bought you a pair of Nikes. What did you do to earn these shoes again?
I got principal's list. I had the highest grade in science, math, language arts, reading.
So you got wait. You
at the 8th grade.
You got more than one pair of Jordans then?
No, I only have one pair, and I got one pair because of that.
Because of what? I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time.
I got valedictorian in my grade.
Oh, okay. Wait. Stop right there. Stop right there. You got valedictorian?
Of the 8th grade, yes.
Okay. Now, that's kind of understandable. Okay. If you get valedictorian, which says you're the number one person in your class, and you ask for some $200+ pair of Jordans, I get that. I mean, because I was about to say, if you did it just because you got good grades, that's not a reason. You're supposed to get good grades anyway. But if you got valedictorian, I can kind of understand that. I'd go and splurge a little bit and get you a pair of Jordans. That's good stuff. Great job, nephew.
Thank you.
There he is. All right.
Have a good day and keep on singing.
Oh, man. Thank you, Quincy. Oh, I will. I will. Thank you, brother. Now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you're talking about an extreme situation where your kid, is the valedictorian, he's the number one student in his grade, and the kid says, this is what I really want, and the goal was for you to get good grades, and you were promised you'd get a good gift or whatever if you came home with good grades, and then the kid says, listen, I'd really like some Jordans. I got, the best grades in my class. Dad, can you give me some Jordans? And if you've got the money, okay, then I understand. I kind of understand. I kind of get it. Now, what I would do is I would have a talk with that kid, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and I'd say to him, you do know that you could spend this money and use this money for a much better cause than these damn sneakers, right? That's probably the conversation I would have with my nephew, Quincy, and I'm pretty sure Gerald probably did sit him down and say, listen, I'm going to buy you these sneakers, but you do know with this money that you can do a whole lot of great things with it. You could probably go to Six Flags. Hell, you could go to Disney World with this money. You could buy you a suit. You could buy you a new pair of church shoes and have some change left over. I get all of that. But the kid got valedictorian of his class, and this is what he wanted. And as a motivating type thing, then I really don't have a big problem with that. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whenever I sing, man, it's kind of like this euphoric high that I have to come down off of. I'm always amped up. And, let's be honest. Not everybody can pull off Luther like I just did. And so, I'm feeling real good right now, man. I'm going to kind of, take a little chill pill during the break. And we'll be back and continue with the top 5 sneakers of all times. And also going to tell you a little bit about Terrell Pryor and some comments and what he said now playing for the Cleveland Browns. We'll talk about Terrell Pryor. TP, are you with me? Don't go anywhere. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart. Wow, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up. and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
B-I-G-P-O-P-P-A, no info for the DEA. Federal agents mad because I'm flagrant, tap myself.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. So, I wonder if Puffy kind of regrets after he fell in that hole the other night at the BET Awards, jumping back up and kept on dancing. If you saw there were a couple of, I think, erroneous stories that came out yesterday on social media that Puffy was suing BET, and I don't think that is true. And I said to myself, he can't be suing BET because, you know, he messed that whole thing up when he fell in the damn hole and he got back up and kept dancing. Yeah, this man fell in a damn hole. You know there had to be some type of lawsuit that he could have levied against BET. In that scenario, even though it was his fault. I think he probably should have known. Maybe they went about it in rehearsal and says, listen, Puff, when you walk down this stage, remember when you turn around and come back, there's going to be a hole here. And this ninja forgot all about the damn hole. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I mean, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? You know you are, man. I mean, where else in America are they talking about the sports and all of the top stories of sports? They also talking about top 5 sneakers of all times. They got great guests to call the show and congratulate the host about his singing. And then that in itself, the host, every once in a while, man, will delight his listeners with a selection, a classic tune from yesteryear. I mean, where else are you going to get that but on the Doug Stewart Show? You're not going to get it anywhere else, baby. Yes, sir. All right. Top 5 sneakers of all time. Number 5 on my list, the Nike Air Diamond, which were the Deons. Number 4 was the Adidas Superstar, which in street terms are called the shell toe Adidas, or at least that's what we called them growing up. They got a little shell, little thing in the front. Like, who decided to put that little shell thing in the front of those Adidas? And the Adidas Superstar. And number 3 on my list was the Air Force Ones. Coming in at number 2 on my list, the top 5 sneakers of all times are the Puma Clydes. You know them as the Suede Pumas. The sneaker of choice for your resident B-boy back in 1982. And still a real fly sneaker. Like, every once in a while now, I'll go out and I'll see somebody with a pair of green suede Pumas or the classic burgundy suede Pumas. I had the burgundy suede during that era, like 85, 86 or whatever, with the fat laces. Every once in a while, I'll see somebody out with a pair of suede Pumas, and they got the fat laces in them too. And I just think back like, oh, man, those were the days. Those were the days. Them Pumas, man. And then if you were fortunate enough like myself, to have a beautiful auntie that lived in the great New York City. See, we didn't have all of the fashion that they had up north. So my auntie used to send me and my brother things periodically for birthdays and Christmas. We tell her what we want. And I remember this particular year, man, for Christmas, she sent me that suede, or I had the suede Pumas, but she sent me that Puma windbreaker that matched my suede Pumas just perfectly. And I went out and I battled a ninja. You better believe it. I battled a ninja. Yeah. So shouts out to Auntie Gertrude. Yes, sir. And Puma Clydes. Yeah. 404-382-0338. Let me read more of your chat here. And we're talking about top 5 sneakers of all time from K3000. He's got a book here. He says, Dougie, I realize that you are an A-list celebrity. I appreciate you saying that, but that's probably not the case. But I bet every time you go to the bar for a big function, you spend enough to buy a pair of Jordans and wake up the next morning thinking, damn, I could have spent that money on a pair of Jordans for what I spent last night. How'd you know? Nah. I've never spent, well, it's only happened like once or twice that I spent, I'd say, over $200 at the bar. I mean, once or twice in life. I'm a very frugal person. My brother and my wife and a lot of people that know me will actually say that I'm cheap. And so maybe that's why I think that it's so outrageous that somebody would buy a pair of sneakers for over $200. Now, I will say this. I bought I bought 2 pairs of Jordans probably 6 or 7 years ago, once again, when I was, relatively speaking, making good money. And I bought 2 pairs of Jordans. I think they were like $130 maybe. And I really, I had the sweatsuit, and so I wanted some Jordans. You can't get a Jordan sweatsuit and not have a pair of Jordans. So I bought a couple of Jordan sweatsuits. I just got a bonus or something like that. So I bought a couple of pair of Jordans, but they were like $130, and I thought that was appalling. I really did. I thought that was appalling, but I bought them. I actually still got them. I still wear them, like when I go to the grocery store. Yeah. So I'm not your average dude. I'm not your average quote-unquote celebrity, which obviously that's relatively speaking not the case. But when I go out and I get loose, I'll probably buy me, and in Atlanta, man, every drink is $13. I mean, seriously. So if you get you 3 drinks in Atlanta, you already spending $30, $40, $50. So my drink limit is 3, so I usually don't go over that. I'm not a lush like I used to be 20 years ago and get sloppy drunk, have to drive or whatever, knock on wood. I'm responsible. So that's actually not the case, man. I really don't go out and spend a lot of money and then mad the next year that I ain't spending on Jordans. And if I do have one of those nights where I spend like $200 on the bar, maybe I'm buying one of my boys or one of the bros some drinks or whatever, I'd never wake up in the morning saying, I wish I would have used that money on Jordans. I just don't do that. From Stagger Lee, I wish you would have, how about help out with groceries about these pieces? I don't know what that's about. From Nino the Rhino, good grades. Maybe that's the reason my folks kept me in Spaldings. So your ass wasn't getting good grades, and so you wore Spaldings and Zips. From Miss Mocabella, she says, Quincy, keep it up in school. I'm actually going back a little bit. From Dobby, Doug, when your pop spent $25, he was a kid, his shoes probably was $2.50. See where I'm going with this? Yeah. They used to call them brogans. Brogans, or what's the word they used to use for like real cheap sneakers? Skips. They cost $1.99. Skips. They make your feet feel fine. My old man them used to sing that. All you need is a pair of Skips. That's all you need. And I don't even know what the hell a Skips is. I guess Skips was the jocks or the real bootleg tennis shoe from back in his day when he was growing up. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Vince Wright. But good job on the grades, Quincy. From Vince Wright in 8th grade, valedictorian, don't count. What do you mean it don't count? Evidently at that school, because I never heard of being a valedictorian in the 8th grade as well. But evidently at his school, they have that distinction. From Rel Scott, sneaking in just to say, what's up, family? What up, Rel Scott? Thank you, man. All right, now here comes some of the conversation in the chat room about my rendition of House is Not a Home. From John Horatio, he says, Doug need that. All right, let's move on to the next one. From Eugene Jackson, it says, BPA to John Fisher. Let's skip that one as well. From Stagger Lee, good in school? That's what you're supposed to do. $200 my ass, laugh out loud. Right. The response normally is to a kid about getting him something after making good grades is, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not rewarding you for doing something you're supposed to do. You don't get rewarded for doing something that you're supposed to do. But if you're valedictorian, if you're the number one kid in a class of 300 kids, then I can respect that. I don't have a problem with that, Gerald. I don't have a problem with that. From Uncle Mike, shouldn't Quincy be in summer camp or something? What? Why does he need to be in summer camp? That man is studying. Clearly, that man is studying. He's in a book right now if he's the best student in this entire class. From Stagger Lee, said Quincy is family. He don't count. Let's see, got here. From Juan Cruz, BPA to John Fisher. Why is everybody giving John Fisher a BPA? I don't understand that. From Fel Pay, Doug or sings the hits. More like when Dougie sings, he sounds like he's got the, let's skip over that one as well. We got from Busa, I was crying in pain. What were you crying about? Why were you in pain? Why were you crying and laughing in pain? I don't understand that at all, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. All right, let's talk more about sports. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Terrell Pryor's in the news, and Terrell Pryor, in an interview, actually made some comments that I'm going to give this Slash player deal a chance. And you know what he's referencing when he says Slash is Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart made that moniker famous back when he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of like a hybrid type player. He was a quarterback / wide receiver. And, the Cleveland Browns signed him after he was waived from the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's already acknowledged that he is fine. He is okay playing the wide receiver position. But I guess evidently since he's been in the organization and maybe in meetings or OTAs or something like that, they kind of intimated to him that we're going to let you play some quarterback too. We want you to play wide receiver, but you'll get your options under center as well. So he's kind of feeling good about that and saying that he's going to play, or he's going to give that Slash thing a chance with the Cleveland Browns. If you listen to the show and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, you know that I'm a fan of that kid, man. I think that kid can actually play quarterback in the NFL. Not in relative terms to Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Warren Moon or Joe Montana or nothing like that. My point is if you've seen a lot of these quarterbacks in the NFL, they absolutely suck. They suck. And I'm holding 2 thumbs down. And they get opportunities, and they get an ability and a chance to try to work out some of their mistakes. In relative terms, man, I think Terrell Pryor, to a lot of cats that have gotten opportunities over the last couple of years, I think he could play in the NFL at quarterback. Now, I don't know what goes on with dude at practice. I don't know if he has a problem, a hard time learning the plays, or what. Or maybe he's just a guy that just, when the lights come on, he turns into a different player. I don't know what it is, but I think that if a lot of these guys are getting opportunities, Tim Tebow's of the world, to play quarterback in the NFL, and Tebow's on his 4th or 5th opportunity, I think Terrell Pryor could definitely do it as well. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. When we get back from the break, man, what I'm going to do is give you the number 1 sneaker on the list of top 5 sneakers of all times. We'll do that, as well as take some calls. We got a call right now. Caller, hold on, and we'll take you as soon as we get back. I'm pretty sure it's somebody that wants to pat me on the back. So stay tuned for that, and we'll wrap up today's show, all right? Don't go anywhere. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Where the true players at? Throw your rollies in the sky.
You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. Thank you for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. I say that all the time, but I really do mean it. Not only do I really do appreciate it, but I really do mean it. Thank you very much for supporting the Doug Stewart Show. You know how else you can support the Doug Stewart Show? You can buy a Doug Stewart Show t-shirt. That's right. Go to thedougstewartshow.com, and for a donation, I guess maybe payment, whatever you want to call it, of $20 or more. If you donate $20 or more, we'll send you your very own official The Doug Stewart Show t-shirt. First run edition. We're running out. We only have a few left. We're about to make the second order, which will be a totally different shirt, something totally different transcribed on the shirt. So if you'd like to support the Doug Stewart Show, independent radio, me, my family, and my kids eating, go to thedougstewartshow.com and click on the little donate button, and $20 or more, we will send you your very own Doug Stewart Show t-shirt. Yes, sir. So all day long, we've been talking about the top 5 sneakers of all times. Number 5 on my list was the Dion's. Number 4 on my list was the Shell Toe Adidas. Number 3 was the Air Force Ones. I don't have the list up right now. It's on my phone, and I'm on Periscope right now. Number 2 was the Puma Suede, so I'm trying to remember what they were. Number 2 were the Puma Suede, so you know what number 1 is, man. Undeniable, the biggest force in sports shoe sneaker history, the MJs, the Michael Jordans. Really changed the game in a lot of ways. Like when the Jordans first came out, the way that they were constructed, the way that the color scheme on them were totally different from any basketball shoe that we had ever seen before. And then you had the Michael Jackson or the Michael Jordan name behind it as well, and he ended up being the greatest player in the history of the game. So it was kind of like the perfect storm. You had a good-looking shoe that was different. It was unique. It was built by Nike, and so it had the the money and the power behind Nike behind it as well. And then Michael Jordan kind of worked out to being the best basketball player in the history of the game. And I don't know how many pairs of Jordans they've come out with. Probably 1,000 different pairs, because a lot of these Jordans, they aren't the signature once-a-year shoe that they come out with. A lot of them are like these hybrid-type Jordans that Nike's been putting out over the last couple of years, where you walk into a Foot Locker, and there's like 50 pair of Jordans on the wall. Like, Jordan has his own part of the wall right now in a lot of these sports stores. So, incredible, the numbers and the money that's behind that brand. And it's a good-looking shoe, man. And I got a couple pair. I mentioned it earlier, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I got a couple of pair of Jordans that I bought a couple of years ago, man. It's a good-looking shoe. Well put together. Once again, I go back and think about the types of sneakers that I wore growing up, those Chuck Taylors or whatever, the Pro Kids. And you put on a pair of those shoes now, there's like no stability. Like, your arches are just on their own. And the sneakers are so much better, well-made in today's sneaker industry. And the Jordans are the king of them all. Yes, so they're the number one sneaker on the number one sneaker of all time in my mind. So we did all this today in honor of Phil Knight. He's stepping down as chairman of Nike. So that's the reason why we had that conversation today on the Doug Stewart Show. Let me go ahead and grab a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Hey, what it be, Doug?
What's up? Who's this?
It's Jersey, man. You forgot.
Oh, what's up, Vern? Vern, I'm sorry about that. Call back, Vern. We got disconnected for some reason. I'm sorry about that. From Miss Mocha Bella says, thanks, Doug, for singing a Luther song. Good job. I'm on Periscope right now. And so Miss Mocha Bella asked me to sing Luther Vandrosss earlier today, and so I did that in her honor and in Luther's honor. He's been gone for 10 years today, so thank you, Miss Mocha Bella, thank you. And follow your boy on Periscope as well. Great little tool. We're live streaming right now as well as doing the show live. And if you're following me on Periscope, tap the screen, and we thank you very much for that. Oh, one more thing before we get out of here. We're about to wrap up today's show. Is make sure, as I mentioned earlier, we're about to unveil a brand new show open starting Monday. But we're kind of still, fiddling with it a little bit. And so we need a real hard-hitting song with like a nice intro, kind of like a dramatic intro as well, kind of like the lean back that I've been using for the last 5 or 6 months for Fat Joe. So put that in the Spreaker chat. And you do know that the Spreaker chat continues after the show is done. You can still go in there and post some chat in there as well. So go in there and give me a suggestion. I'm not saying we're going to use yours. I'm going to try to figure out, me and Tree are going to try to figure out the best one and come out with that new show open on Monday. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much for joining, boy. Let me grab a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name, where you calling from, and what you want to talk about?
I was trying to tell you, man, you forgot about the shoe that Walter Payton used to wear.
Oh, the kangaroos. The kangaroos. Yeah.
Man, that was a good shoe there, man.
Yeah.
I had me a couple of pair of them. Hey, Doug, I was sleeping, right? I usually have the show on, to help wake me up.
Uh-huh.
Man, you woke me up, man, because you sound like a dog with hemorrhoids.
Wait a minute.
You sound like a dog with hemorrhoids.
Wait a minute. Why didn't he die? Why didn't he die? Vern is freaking Jason Voorhees. I shot that nigga 30 times and he kept talking. Vern, I hear what you're saying, man. Clearly we know that you're one of those haters, Vern. And just because you can't sing, you like to throw stones. Let's grab another call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Doug Stewart, what's happening?
Who's this? T from Huntsville?
Yes, sir.
Man, T from Huntsville, how you doing, brother?
I've been better. Hey, sir, it doesn't seem like I'm
Wait. I can't hear you. Wait till the studio audience stops clapping for you, and then go ahead and talk. All right, go ahead, T. T from Huntsville. One of my favorite listeners, one of the Stewies, one of the dogs, one of my favorite guys in the world, T from Huntsville, man. What you got, T?
Well, Doug, if you're gonna your choice of songs, man, the classics, man, that was Luther, sir. Wouldn't you be better suited to sing like Rockwell or something like that? You know.
Wait, Rockwell. What?
Yeah, you know that. I feel like if somebody's watching me, just leave out.
Well, I can do that too, but I mean today called for Luther, so we went with Luther today, brother.
Yeah, I know, man, but the classics, man, you know, people enjoy those songs, man. And, you know, you're stepping on them, sir. You know what I'm saying? I got to go Club Baby Seals over here to,
Oh, boy. So Vern and T from Huntsville, what did T just say something about clubbing a baby seal? We're going to call the Animal Rights Commission Pete on your ass. You talk about hitting seals. Why would you call up and talk to me about the great Luther Vandrosss and talk about hitting a seal over the head? You're a vile person. You are a vile person to say something like that on national radio, T from Huntsville. But thank y'all for the calls, man. Thank you so much. What the hell was Vern talking about? What was T talking about? What was T talking about? Yeah. So do your boy a favor, man, and send me a suggestions for a track, and we will start this the show out with a new show open on Monday. Thank y'all so much for tuning into the show today, man. Oh, man, there would be no me if there were no you. Thank you very, very much. Yes, sir! Thank you very much, Shouty. Shouts out to Big Smooth, Mocha Bella, Rel Scott, John Fisher. Love you, John Fisher. Not like that, though, but you know what I mean. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll do it again on Monday, man. Shouts out to the Tree of Life, the producer to the Doug Stewart Show, even though she ain't here today. Thank you very much, Tree. Shouts out to Waterhead Walter, who is here today. Thank you, Waterhead, for doing what you do. I really do appreciate it. And also, shouts out to Dwayne Vasson, Gerald Oliveri, his son getting straight A's. Shouts out to all of y'all, man. Thank you very much. And in particular, to the Stewies, the dogs, the poodles that listen to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll do it again tomorrow. Throwback Thursday, same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Peace.